the heart.
The power of the heart. Finding your inner wisdom.
The power of the heart.
Finding the power of the heart.
The power of the heart.
The
power of the heart. The power of the heart.
让我们寻回新的力量。
The power of the heart.
Thank you for joining us today. My name is Yuru Chow. You are tuning in to the Power of the Heart on Dai Radio. It has been almost a year and a half since Superstorm Sandy brought devastation to countless families in the U.S. Northeast. Many lost their homes, some lost their loved ones. Ever since the day of the disaster, Tzu Chi volunteers in New York and New Jersey have been there to assist Hurricane Sandy survivors. Tzu Chi not only provides $10 million in direct cash aid to over 16,000 New York and New Jersey families for their immediate needs, but also offer warm food, blankets, and daily necessity to thousands of families in their moment of urgent need. Since December 2012, the focus of Tzu Chi's effort has been on undocumented residents and others who do not qualify for government aid. The volunteers do not only provide material aid, but also emotional comfort, a smile, a hug, and a word of wisdom. All this has assisted affected families to leave the tragedy behind, rebuild their lives, and move on with a positive outlook. This has been an ongoing effort from our Tzu Chi volunteer in the local area. Going back to the time in November 2012, Dharma Master Zhen Yan issued a letter to Hurricane Sandy survivor. In this letter, she wrote, "Dear friends, nature is unpredictable and fragile. Hurricane Sandy lashed through the islands of Caribbean and blanketed the entire U.S. East Coast with torrential rain and devastating wind at the end of October. Many families are still reeling from Hurricane Sandy's aftermath and dealing with collapsed buildings, flood damages, loss of loved ones, and better public infrastructure. From the news, I see millions of families across the states are still left in darkness, with no heat to protect them against the freezing cold temperature due to power and gasoline outage. Reports from our volunteers working in the worst-hit areas told of people still trying to find refuge from the freezing cold. Trains and buses are slowly back to service, but getting to many places remain a challenge. Blackout in the cities and towns took away their normal bustling vitality. Following this news and report every day, I and all the Tzu Chi volunteers around the world feel for all of your hardship and overwhelmed situation as you embark on the journey to recover. My heart truly goes out to all of you, and the heaviness I feel for your predicament cannot be described in words. U.S. Tzu Chi volunteers also felt your pain. Some of them were your neighbors and impacted by the storm as well. However, they delegate their family and business obligation in order to volunteer in the relief service. They established Tzu Chi Hurricane Sandy Relief Coordination Center in New York City and Cedar Grove, New Jersey since day one. Facing with power outage and lack of gasoline, they still manage to get to your areas to assess your urgent needs. Support pouring in from our Taiwan headquarters and various staging warehouses in the U.S. to New York and New Jersey for immediate distribution of emergency cash cards and supplies like blankets, instant rice, and personal care kits, while our U.S. volunteers began to appeal for the public to help. Even if people can give only a small amount to help, as long as many people pitch in, our collective strength enables us to deliver well wishes and release supply personally and directly to you to let you know you are not in this alone. In addition, our volunteer in New York City and Long Island braced against the chilly wind and already delivered hot meals and blankets door to door daily after the storm had passed. Those hot meals came from loving volunteers who cook in our Chinatown, Manhattan, and Flushing kitchens in the dark by candlelight or flashlight. Our New Jersey volunteers travel all around the state from north to south amid gasoline limitation and traffic to assess damages and to express our sincere offer to help. In recent years, we bear witness to a trend that natural disasters are occurring more frequently, causing devastation and disruption to people's lives. If we observe this natural phenomenon closely, we'll realize that the root cause really comes from our lifestyle. Our overconsumption and desire for convenience have led us to extracting natural resources excessively. As a result, we upset Mother Nature balance and create extreme weather patterns. We also create too much pollution and carbon footprint that damage Mother Nature and eventually lead to a global warming of abnormal climates. To turn this trend around, we need to foster the spirit of love, respect, and gratitude for all, and return to a simple life. Give love and care to our fellow humans. Protect Mother Nature and all the creatures living on the earth. This is the only way to a better and safer future. With great love, we can help each other and recover from the disaster. With our utmost sincerity, we'd like to present a token of our love and well wishes from Tzu Chi volunteers all around the world. Tzu Chi is here with you and will help you survive this disaster and get back to normality. My sincere and best wishes are with you for a speedy recovery and rebuilding. Let us heal the pain and suffering and bring out our innate courage and perseverance. I believe with a positive outlook, you can restore your homes and be back to normal soon. Let us pray sincerely for everyone to be safe and well, for our society to be harmonious and no more disasters. May joy and freedom be with you. May you find peace everywhere. This is a letter from Dharma Master Cheng Yen to all the survivors of Hurricane Sandy at the time we are giving out our relief aid. Even reading it from a year and a half now, I am still deeply touched by her spirit of great love. In our program today, we'll begin with a reading of Dharma Master Cheng Yen's teaching about addressing the suffering in our world, a brief overview of Tzu Chi. This reading is done by Dharma Master Deling. Then after a short break, we'll discuss this teaching with Mr. Bill Wei.
You are listening to The Power of the Heart on Da'ai Radio.
The Power of the Heart, Part 3, Walking the Bodhisattva Path of Tzu Chi. Today we will be listening to the teaching on Addressing the Suffering in Our World, a brief overview of Tzu Chi. Before we go into the teaching, let us first listen to the editor's introduction. It says, "The following teachings are about Tzu Chi, the life work to which Dharma Master Zheng Yan has devoted herself. In the original speeches from which these teachings were compiled, the Master was speaking to Tzu Chi volunteers, offering guidance on how to face the challenges they inevitably encounter in the course of carrying out Tzu Chi's work, as well as inspiring them to develop the Bodhisattva spirit, the spirit of working for the good of others with a love that is all-embracing, unbiased, and unconditional." Part 3 opens with a brief overview of Tzu Chi, compiled from a conversation with visitors from a Japanese Buddhist humanitarian organization, in which the Master explains the thinking behind Tzu Chi and what she sees as its mission and purpose. Addressing the Suffering in Our World, a brief overview of Tzu Chi. Looking around our world, there is so much suffering. When we have compassion, as we witness others' hardship, we will feel their pain, and because of this, we will do everything that we can to help, in the hope that through this, people's suffering may be lessened. Suffering takes many forms. Poverty and illness bring much suffering to individuals, but our society as a whole also has its share of suffering and problems. How may we be able to help alleviate suffering? For poverty and illness, charitable and medical work can help. For the ills of society, the solution lies in education. Not only education of young people in schools, but also education of the general public. This education on a societal level can be brought about through educational and cultural work. In Tzu Chi, we dedicate ourselves to relieving suffering by working in the 4 fields of charity, medicine, education, and culture. We do this work with a religious spirit, a pure desire to ease suffering and live out the great compassion of a Buddha. In our charitable work, we begin in the community by providing regular financial aid to families in need. We have also extended charity work worldwide. Now there are Tzu Chi volunteers in over 40 countries around the world, and Tzu Chi's international relief missions have brought us to over 70 countries. Through our medical mission, we strive to make medical care widely accessible across Taiwan, establishing a network of hospitals and holding free medical clinics in areas where access to medical facilities is very difficult, such as remote outlying regions. At the same time, we carry out health education so people can better take care of themselves and prevent illness. Combining the medical and charitable missions, our volunteers and medical personnel work together as a team to improve the lives of patients and help eradicate poverty and illness. In addition, we also promote bone marrow donation, organ donation, and the donation of one's body for medical training. Like the interlinking of charity and medicine, Tzu Chi's educational and cultural missions can also be said to be intertwined. Besides imparting knowledge and developing students' minds, our deeper goal is to instill wholesome values that can guide their daily lives. We hope that these values become so deep a part of the students that they can be manifested in their thinking and actions in everyday life. When people across society have the right values, society will be more peaceful, stable, and healthy. Besides instilling these values in schools, we also extend such education to the public at large through the cultural mediums of TV, radio broadcasting, magazine and book publishing, and websites. This work in the fields of education and culture helps create hope for our society. Every day, we carry out the work of all 4 missions simultaneously. It is through the contributions of each and every person, and by working together as one, that we are able to build homes, hospitals, schools, and achieve results in these 4 missions. One person alone can accomplish little. It takes the coming together of many, many people united in a common purpose for Tzu Chi's work to be possible. In the process, as we learn how to work with others in harmony, we overcome our bad habits and grow spiritually. Gradually, our heart becomes more and more like that of a Buddha, and our compassion and wisdom deepen. We carry out Tzu Chi's work with the aspiration to relieve the suffering of our world, because this is our motivation. Until the day there is no more suffering in the world, our work will not end. In this sense, Tzu Chi's work has only just begun.
My name is Bill Wei. I'd like to share with one of my favorite Jingshi aphorisms. It is easy to reflect on major mistakes and hard to eliminate small bad habits. On the spiritual path, repentance is essential practice. Most of us tend to repent only when we have done something that caused major negative consequences. It is then that we reflect on our action and resolve not to do the same again. But we often don't pay attention to our habitual tendency. The more subtle one often escape our notice. In fact, we may even think of all this are just the way we are. Our habitual tendency are acquired over lifetimes. We experience affliction, resentment, and joy. As a result, we gradually accumulate like, dislike, and various preference. This forms our habitual tendency. Spiritual cultivation is about eliminating unwholesome tendency. May wisdom and inspiration be with you always.
You are listening to the Power of the Heart on Dai Radio, tapping into the power of the heart, finding your inner wisdom, finding the power of the heart. Our special guest today is Mr. Bill Wei. Bill found Buddhism while he was in graduate school about 30 years ago, when stress from studying and life was sitting heavily on his chest. As a foreign student with no family and friends around, Buddha's teaching was his lifeline that comforted him and helped him to settle down and stay committed to complete his education and then goals in his life. Welcome to the program, Bill. I'm so glad to have you with us.
Thank you very much. It is my honor to be here.
And I would like to know more about what inspired you to join Tzu Chi.
Okay, I became a Buddhist since 1985 in U.S. and I've been studying sutra, chanting Buddha's name, and participating in all kinds of Dharma ceremony. However, I was neither understand others' suffering nor care about their feeling. In 2008, I came back to Taiwan and had the chance to read Master Cheng Yen's teaching about the definition of the religion. And he goes, in my perspective, religion is not as much a set of belief or the dogma, but a kind of education. This education leads us to discover life's true purpose and meaning, and it teaches us about the life and the living. Then I realized that Tzu Chi has been promoting the 4 major missions and the 8 footstep program start from Taiwan, spreading across over 85 countries, and providing the financial aid and delivering relief goods to the suffering, and the most importantly is that they did all the good deeds and they did not expect anything in return. In addition, Master mentioned that the Buddha teaching are neither so difficult nor profound. They are simply a direction for our daily lives. The Tzu Chi Foundation endeavor to put the spirit of the Buddha's teaching into daily life. We learn from what we do, and we do what we have learned. In this way, we experience the meaning of the aphorism, "Let Buddhas be in our heart, the Dharma in our words, and the love in our deed." This teaching really inspired me, and I decided to join this organization.
That must be a very inspiring moment in your life when you discovered Tzu Chi, where you can actually go from just studying Buddhism to practice Buddhism. So, Bill, you are a staff with Tzu Chi Foundation and Jing Si publication right now. Can you tell us more about some of the projects that you're working on?
Because of my previous job as a legal consultant in the international cooperation, so Master from the Jing Si publication hired me to serve in their legal department in July 2011. My job responsibility is to watch over master copyright, Jing Si trademarks, Jing Si patent, audio works, and to draft the business contract or to issue the authorization letter. This is called intellectual property right protection. Even though there aren't any violation to our trademark or patent case yet, but we have discovered there are some copyright violation cases. As Buddhists, we should refrain from any wrongdoing, so we should adhere by law and respect the original writer's copyright.
So with all this legal work, how do you see your contribution to ease the suffering in this world?
Okay. The cycle of the nature disaster lead back to humankind. When people have less and less respect for Mother Nature, she will surely respond with endless calamities. The Buddha said, all creatures share the common karma because we all receive the result of our action. I recall when we study the Buddha Sutra in the 37 practice to the enlightenment, there are 4 right efforts. Eliminate any evil that had already risen, prevent the future evil from arising, encourage good to quick arising, neutral any good that has already risen. The essence of the first part of the 4 right efforts is to simply refrain from all evil. The spirit behind the second part of the 4 right effort is to do all that is good. Often, people do not perform the good deed because they think the deed insignificant. They think this deed are so small. what could I possibly gain by doing them? How could this deed benefit anyone? Actually, we must see the moment and do what is good, whether the action is big or small, because it will have the positive effect. If we take care of our mind and our loving heart, and then nurture any good has already arisen, good thought will flourish and uneasiness. Then we can accomplish even greater good. Everyone is a small individual in our world. We don't have the big power to change our world at once, but at least we can do some good deed and inspire others to do the good deed with us. And then we could unite other people effort and have a chance to change our world.
Wow. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that with us. Thank you, Bill. We'll be listening to this book over the next several episodes. Please join us next time to continue our discussion on the power of the heart. If you want to read this book we're talking about, you can find a copy of this book in any Jingsi bookstore and cafe. For more teachings from Dharma Master Cheng Yen, please tune in next time to our program. Goodbye and have a great day.
Shining hope and love on those in need. I pledge with all my heart that my destiny is serving mankind. Serving mankind. I gratefully respect the great teachers who showed me the way. Showed me the way. With respect and with reason, I will do all I can to save those who are ill. With all of my heart, I'll uphold the great oath passed on to us. When someone needs our hands, we will climb over the steepest mountain. When someone needs our care, we will sail across the widest ocean. Follow Master's compassion, and a world full of pain will become a world of hope. I will give it my all. May our white gowns be like beacons of light. Let us safeguard light and love. Let compassion fill this world, to build a world of love, where the sun will never set, our devotion never dies, selfless and without regret. Every doctor is a light, shining hope and love on those in need.
our hands, we will climb over the steepest mountain. Steepest mountain. When someone needs our care, we will sail across the widest ocean. Widest ocean. Follow Master's compassion, and a world full of pain will become a world of hope. I will give it my all. May our wagons be like beacons of light. These sufferings with great love for all, and learn to treat with humanity. Wondrous doctors, wondrous skills, spirit-bearing heart of bodhisattvas, cure the body, cure the mind, great healing words with grace, with gratitude. Great love knows no borders. Doctors come from everywhere to build a world of love where the sun will never set. With the flows forever, selfless and without regret. Every doctor is alive, shining hope and love on those in need. Great love flows forever, selfless and without regret. Every doctor is a light, shining hope and love on those in